The messed up things in Batman no one talks about. Batman the Series. Batman was a popular television show during the mid to late 60s, starring Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as his sidekick Robin. The series had a sitcom vibe. The sets were brightly colored and the villains were even more colorful and were played by big stars of the 60s. The series ran for 3 seasons, and ABC canceled the series in 1969 due to poor ratings. There are plenty of things you may not know about the show, and if you are a fan, you're in for a treat. You're about to learn everything about the show on screen and behind the scenes. Campy pop art. The series was intended to be a cool crime series like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., a popular show at the time. When the execs at ABC read the Batman comic book, they saw it was campy and filled with tongue-in-cheek humor. They decided the only way to do a TV show successfully was to follow the comic book format and decided it would be better off in a campy pop art style. Fortunately for everyone involved, the changes worked. The Batmobile. Batman and Robin traveled around in the Batmobile, which was a significant part of the series. The original car was a modified Lincoln Futura and sold at auction in 2013 for $4.2 million. That's an awful lot to spend on a car, but you can't put a price on history. 2 sets of actors. The directors wanted to find the perfect dynamic duo and held 2 separate screen tests. The first was Adam West and Burt Ward, and the second was Lyle Wagner and Pete Dial. The roles went to Adam and Burt, and both screen tests can be seen on YouTube. Although Lyle Wagner didn't get the role of Batman, he starred in another superhero series, Wonder Woman, in the 1970s alongside Linda Carter. Poor test screenings. Despite the show's success, the pilot episode didn't do very well. In Adam West's 1994 book, Back to the Batcave, he wrote that the pilot scored a 40, which is the lowest possible rating. Most pilots scored in the 60s, but ABC didn't give up. They added a laugh track and narration, but the score didn't change. After adding special effects, ABC decided to stick with the show to see how well it could do. The Batman movie. The same year the show debuted, a Batman film was released. The execs used the show's popularity to make the movie a success, and it premiered 2 months after the show's first season ended. Almost all the show's cast appeared in the film, including Adam West and Burt Ward as Batman and Robin, Cesar Romero as the Joker, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, and Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. Lee Merriweather played Catwoman in the film, although Julie Newmar played Catwoman in the show's first 2 seasons. Lee returned later and appeared in 2 episodes as Lisa Carter. Unequal pay. There were 34 episodes in each season of Batman, and the show aired twice a week. That meant that Adam and Burt had to work a lot. They weren't making the same. Burt was making $350 a week, which was much less than what Adam West made. And the actor was upset because he worked as hard as Adam and didn't make as much money. This is one of those messed up things in Batman no one talks about. Alfred and Aunt Harriet. The Batman comic books had been running since the 1930s and were very popular when the show aired. Alfred the butler was killed off in the comics a few weeks before the show premiered, but the producers decided not to follow the comics. They decided to keep Alfred and Aunt Harriet alive for the show, and Alan Napier played Alfred. The actor had never heard of Batman before taking the role and became a fan favorite. The villain's crooked nature. The villains on Batman were very colorful characters and stole every scene. Each time viewers saw a villain's lair, the camera angle tilted and crooked to show the crooked nature of the criminals. The Joker and the Penguin. Of all the villains on the show, the Penguin and the Joker were the only 2 who appeared in the most episodes. The Penguin appeared in 19 episodes, and the Joker appeared in 22. The series ran for 120 episodes, and these 2 villains were in the show 1/3 of the time. The Joker's laugh. Cesar Romero played the Joker in the Batman series and had a crazy laugh. The character's laughter came from the actor's real laugh when he saw his costume for the first time. Frank Sinatra wanted to play the Joker, but the directors believed that Cesar was better for the part. Catwoman. 3 different actresses played Catwoman. Julie Newmar played the villainess in the show's first season. Eartha Kitt took over the role after Julie, and Lee Merriweather played Catwoman in the 1966 film. Breaking barriers. When Eartha Kitt took over the role as Catwoman in Season 3, She was the second African-American woman to be featured on a mainstream TV show in the United States. The first was Nichelle Nichols, who played in Star Trek as Uhura. When Halle Berry landed the role of Catwoman in the 2014 film Catwoman, she based her performance on Nichelle's over 4 decades later. The Penguin. A few actors were considered for the role of the Penguin, and initially it was supposed to go to Mickey Rooney. Spencer Tracy was also considered, but he would only agree to play the Penguin if he could kill Batman. He must not have been familiar with superheroes because the hero never dies. Eventually, the role went to Burgess Meredith. The Penguin's Cackle. Burgess Meredith made the Penguin's cackle famous, resulting from years of smoking cigarettes. The actor quit smoking 20 years before the show began filming and never realized his raspy voice would be perfect for the Penguin, but it worked. Batman's Gadgets. Batman's gadgets were a significant part of the show, and they usually had the word Bat attached to them. Batman had a brainwave Bat Analyzer and bulletproof Bat Shields. They also have Batcillin, which was Batman's version of penicillin. Fans loved the gadgets and their clever names. Showing too much. Batman's outfits in modern movies are pretty incredible, but the costumes were much different during the series. They had to wear tight-fitting costumes that were also tight on the crotch, which caused problems. The National League of Decency was worried that the tight-fitting outfits would cause controversy and asked ABC to do something about it. The wardrobe department layered the costumes so the actors wouldn't show more than necessary, and the network and the National League of Decency were satisfied. Big Hollywood stars wanted roles. Most of Batman's villains were played by big-name actors of the 60s, and every Hollywood actor wanted to be part of the show. Since there weren't enough parts for everyone, the show came up with an idea. In every episode, Batman and Robin scaled the side of a tall Gotham skyscraper and had encounters with different celebrities who popped their heads out of windows when the dynamic duo makes the climb. Some of the most memorable cameos were Edward G. Robinson, Sammy Davis Jr., and Santa Claus. An Emmy nomination. Frank Gorshin played the Riddler and was one of the audience's favorite villains. He was such a fan favorite that he was nominated for an Emmy Award for his performance and was nominated for Best Supporting Character in a Comedic Role. People loved the crazy touch Frank added to the character. Another Riddler. Frank Gorshin wasn't the only actor who played the Riddler, and Frank played the role in seasons 1 through 3 and in the 1966 film. John Astin, Patty Duke's husband and Sean Astin's father, was an Oscar-nominated actor and took over the role in season 2 and played in 2 episodes. And Frank played the role in 10 episodes. John Astin is best known for his role as Gomez Addams in the 1964 TV show The Addams Family. 3 Mr. Freezes. Mr. Freeze, aka Dr. Schimmel, was played by 3 different actors, but it wasn't a big deal. Mr. Freeze wasn't a significant factor in the show, and the cast changes didn't matter much to fans. George Sanders had the role in Season 1, Otto Preminger and Eli Wallach played the villain in Season 2, and each actor played Mr. Freeze twice. Years later, Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze in the 1997 film Batman and Robin. Batgirl. Batgirl was introduced in Season 3 because the network hoped to boost ratings by appealing to young girls. Batgirl was Commissioner Gordon's daughter and helped Batman and Robin when they were in trouble. Yvonne Craig played Batgirl, and the network planned a spin-off series revolving around the character. When Batman ended in 1968, the spin-off never happened. We didn't see Batgirl again until Alicia Silverstone had the role in the 1997 film Batman and Robin. Holy something, Batman! Robin is best known for his quips in the show. They always started with holy and ended with Batman, with something in between. Robin used these lines 352 times during the show's run, and some were really creative. The best examples include Holy Jack-in-the-Box Batman, Holy Haberdashery Batman, Holy Ravioli Batman, and Holy Schizophrenia Batman, and people still start sentences off with Holy today. Adam West could have been James Bond. Adam West had a chance to play another superhero and was offered the role of James Bond in the 1969 film On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Adam decided not to take the role because he believed a British actor would be better for the part. The role ended up going to Australian actor George Lazenby. Problems with the Batcave. In every episode, the Batmobile comes speeding out of the Batcave. The scene was shot at Branson Cavern in the Hollywood Hills, but it was a bit too small for the Batmobile's frame, making it impossible for the car to speed out of the cavern. The cameras were under-cranked, and the car was filmed coming out of the Batcave very slowly and then sped up during playback, making it look like the car was speeding out, but it was really going at a snail's pace. Commercials and PSAs. When Batman and Robin weren't fighting crime, they helped sell products. In a 1966 commercial, Commissioner James Gordon noticed Chief Miles O'Hara had dirty hands and asked Batman and Robin to give him some lava soap. In another commercial, Alfred Pennyworth started an ad for Fact toothpaste. Batman also appeared in 3 public service announcements. In one, the Caped Crusader urged kids to buy U.S. savings stamps to support the Vietnam War. In another, he encouraged kids to stay safe on the road. The story of the third PSA is interesting, and you're about to hear all about it. Don't try this at home. There were multiple instances of kids in the United Kingdom leaping from high locations to be like Batman, and many resulted in injuries. To keep this from happening, Batman and Robin recorded a PSA letting kids know that Batman can't fly and viewers shouldn't try to. The PSAs were shown before every episode, only in the UK, and in the spot Robin says, "Holy broken bones, Batman." The show could have gone on. When the series was canceled, ABC hoped another network would buy it and keep making the show. They held on to the sets hoping that someone would bite, but after waiting a while, they assumed it was over and the sets were destroyed. Shortly after, NBC decided to purchase the show, but they backed out when they found out the sets had been destroyed. The show could have gone on a few years longer, but we'll never know. Another movie 50 years later. Although NBC decided not to purchase the series, it wasn't dead. In 2016, 50 years after the series appeared on TV, the cast lent their voices to the animated film Batman: Return of the Caped Crusaders. The film included Adam West as Batman, Burt Ward as Robin, and Julie Newmar as Catwoman. A year later, a sequel called Batman vs. Two-Face was released, and the cast lent their voices to the 2017 movie. William Shatner voiced Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face.